Well, hello everybody, good morning, and welcome back to Lemon Branch Travels. Today we are still in Vienna, and we are going to see some more amazing sights in the downtown area. We're going to see the cathedral, we get to go into the catacombs, we get some really fun things in today. So you don't want to miss it. Stay tuned, because it's going to be an amazing day in Vienna. You know, those who travel have stories to tell, so let's go tell a story. Okay, so we are heading off today. We're going to jump into the subway, and thank goodness that the subway is actually running today, because it is Sunday, and I don't know if you can see, there's a few people just kind of walking to and fro, but there is not a lot of shops open. So this is usually a pretty busy shopping district that has lots of food and different shops that are open, but they are all closed on Sunday. So you can see, like, this is a place you can get some snacks and looks like some Asian noodles or whatever, but there's just nothing open all up and down the streets here. So this is one of those districts that's actually closed on Sunday, which in so many ways is so refreshing, because it's just not like that very many places in the world anymore. So yeah, anyway, at least the subway's open, so we're gonna go jump on the subway. We're gonna head off to our first place of sightseeing, so let's go have at it. Okay, so here we are heading back down into the subway. So you see the little glass entranceway up here on the street, and just heading on down. Ooh, that looks like a yummy pastry. What did you end up getting?
Cheese and potato and like a croissant dough.
Oh, that would be yummy. Yeah. How's it taste? Nice. It's always a little breezy coming down into these tunnels, especially when a train starts to come. You can feel the rush of air. It's very quiet down here on a Sunday morning. Usually this place is packed. So this is Ver Sacrum. This means sacred spring in Latin. It was the magazine and hangout spot for the Vienna Secession, which is a group of artists in the late 1800s who wanted to break away from the old school style and do something totally fresh. So basically, it was the start of Vienna's modern art scene. Inside, if you look up around the top of the room, you'll see an incredible series of paintings by Gustav Klimt called the Beethoven Frieze. He painted it in 1902 as a tribute to Beethoven, and it's all about the struggles of life and the power of art to overcome them. The coolest part, though, while we were in there, they gave us headphones so that we could actually listen to Beethoven's music while looking at the paintings. The same music that inspired Klimt. Okay, so we have made it to St. Stephen's Cathedral, and this is right in the heart of Vienna. So check out those towers and how colorful the roof tile is, and you can see why this is the city's most famous landmark. You can really get a sense of how massive and detailed this Gothic architecture is. Okay, so we're heading inside the South Tower. Now, check out how tight this winding staircase is. It's actually 343 steps to the top, and yeah, it's definitely a leg workout, but once we step out at the top, it is completely worth it. These views over Vienna are seriously incredible, and you can see the old city streets below, rooftops stretching forever, and the hills way off in the distance. Truly some of the most spectacular views that you will ever find of Vienna. Okay, so now that we've climbed the tower, it's actually time to go into St. Stephen's Cathedral. And the first thing that you notice is just how much light is sneaking in. Between all the stained glass windows and all the little candle racks, there is this warm glow that just makes the whole space completely feel alive. Now check out these columns. They are massive. They shoot straight up into the vaulted ceilings, and some of them even have little carved figures tucked into the stone. It's crazy to think that these details have been here for hundreds of years. Okay, so when you look up, the famous tiled roof that we saw from the outside, it's actually resting above all of these ceilings. Another interesting fact about this cathedral is this is actually where Mozart got married, as well as where his funeral was just a few years later. So finally, as we look at the back, you will see this organ. It is absolutely enormous, and it has over 12,000 pipes. And I can only imagine what it would sound like when this thing is going and it fills this entire place with music. Okay, so now we're going to head down into the catacombs of St. Stephen's Cathedral. These underground chambers hold the remains of more than 11,000 people. Most were victims of the plague in the 1700s when Vienna's cemeteries filled up and the city just had no place to put any of these people, so they had to find new places for burials. The bones were stacked here to save space, and some rooms are arranged with skulls and femurs carefully placed into patterns. The catacombs also hold tombs of bishops and cardinals, and even contain the organs of Habsburg rulers. Their bodies, however, were buried elsewhere, but their hearts and intestines were placed here as part of an old tradition. Now, one thing to know if you're visiting, you can only see the catacombs on a guided tour. And when it's time to leave, you climb back up through these old iron trap doors, which is actually kind of a cool way to pop back up into the light above. Okay, so for dinner tonight, we are heading over to Figlmüller, a Vienna classic. It's been around since 1905, and of course, they are famous for schnitzels, so we had to go there and try the schnitzel. In fact, it's so big, it literally hangs over the edge of the plate. Now, Figlmüller actually helped make the schnitzel famous in Vienna. The original owner perfected this ultra-thin tender pork schnitzel, and it was over 100 years ago. And people started calling Figlmüller the home of the schnitzel. For our appetizer tonight, we tried an Austrian soup called Frittatensuppe, which is a clear beef broth, and it has these thin strips of pancake in it. It's really a simple soup, but it's really comforting and just a classic starter before any big meal like we're about to have. Okay, so I've showed this pretty much a lot now. This almdudler is really good, and so how they describe it is it's just like an herb-flavored soft drink, but it basically is like a ginger ale is what it tastes like to me, but when it's served in a glass bottle like this, it is the best. Here's the chicken. It looks amazing. And then we ordered off to the side, that's a tartar sauce, and then that's a jam. So next we tried a hearty meat dish, which is a goulash. It comes in a rich gravy with chunks of tender meat, some noodles off to the side, and a dollop of sour cream on top. And it's another great example of classic Austrian comfort food. For dessert, we went to Tichy. Now, Tichy is a famous ice cream spot in Vienna, and we had to try their signature Tichy. So what is Tichy? It is a ball of ice cream, and it's rolled in, whether it's chocolate, cocoa powder, or, you name it, they roll it in there. It is really good. It's fun. They can be a little bit messy, but they're absolutely delicious. Okay, so that is their snowball. And it's got vanilla, looks like marshmallows, vanilla ice cream, chocolate. This is like their chocolate ball, and then that one there is the apricot. That one's a raspberry poppy seed, and then another apricot. So there you have it. What an absolute amazing day here in Vienna. We started off at Ver Sacrum, soaking in that art and Beethoven's music. Then we made our way over to St. Stephen's Cathedral. We climbed the South Tower, which absolutely is no joke, but those views and the city were worth every one of those 343 steps. Then we made our way inside the cathedral. We checked out all of the roof and, of course, the massive organ. Then we had to head down underground into those catacombs. Such a wild mix of history and mystery down there. And then, to cap it all off, dinner at Figlmüller was amazing. That schnitzel really did live up to the hype, plus that Austrian soup and dessert. Man, it totally hit the spot today. Honestly, this was such a perfect day in Vienna. Thank you so much for tagging along. If you did like this, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe, It is such a pleasure to have you along with us, and we will see you on the next video.